Hey everyone, Rick here again with the Ditch Pig Experience. Today we're going to jump right into another Camaro video. I got a few hours before work, so I'm going to start chucking some stuff into this if I can. Just see how far I can get. I've already got the sway bar mount links hooked up here. Sprayed a bunch of undercoating all up in here and got these things bolted back in. The next step is going through some of this gear that's here. This is the panhard bar lowering kit. These are my sway bar links. Get those geared up maybe. Got some instructions there. I think I'm gonna actually use those because some of the stuff I have no idea what it does. Last August when I got this kit, I read through it all then and it made sense then, so I'm sure it'll come around again. But right now I'm kind of in the dark on it, so I probably will read those instructions. And then we'll get some of that stuff bolted into this girl. Okay, I think I figured out some of this stuff. Yeah. They had pictures, so first we got to install this panhard brace. On the driver's side, it goes in the factory location, which is right there. On the passenger side, put this bolt in with this spacer, and then the brace goes through this, and the panhard bar goes through this. Okay, it says off the rip just to put the two in, so that's what we're going to do. Like so. Okay, so none of this stuff I'm gonna tighten up like rock hard in there, solid torqued. Just put it in, get it all somewhat lined up. Back at her for another day. I got a day off, so I'm gonna hit this thing again. One little thing that I forgot to do when I was doing all the welding, this kind of sucks, but we can get it taken care of. I was reading through the instructions and they were talking about this piece that you put underneath when you do the panhard bar, the relocation bracket. It's like a reinforcement. So never ended up doing that when I was welding. So that's gonna be the first thing that we hit today. We try and get that welded up into place. Not a real big deal, like say, just nuke it in there and spray some paint up on it and just keep moving on in the right direction. So yeah, basically all that does is just reinforce this piece here, keep it from flexing and stuff like that. So I've already got it ground up in here, get the undercoating and whatnot off of it. It slides in like so, and just weld it up and yeah, put some paint to it. And if I can get this in the spot where I want it and not have it move, I'd be all set. Got her all nuked in. I'll just cover her up with some black satin and she'll be good to go. We'll be able to move on to the rest of the stuff. Okay, so we can check that off our list. So next step is going to be the panhard bar and this bracketry that we got to hook up to help hold that in place. I read through all this and I think I know what I'm doing, but there's no guarantee. So we're just going to work away at it and piece by piece try and get it together and get it to look like it does in the picture. Should be golden. After that, we're going to install the sway bar, rear sway bar. It took me a while to find these brackets. I didn't know what I did with them and I came across them today, so that's good. But as it happens, this morning I did order rear and front sway bar that are upgrades. Plus I ordered a set of these control arms, rear control arms. They're coming too, so I got like adjustable ones for that. So those will be going. Those are pretty crappy. So yeah, spend a little bit more money on the girl. We're gonna get some new sway bars under her. This thing should handle half decent when it's done. Okay, it says the first step is to mount this thing. Goes on like this according to the picture. So that's what we're gonna do. They said to mount it as close to the housing as possible. So we'll do that. I know I'm on something here. Oh, it's a wire, that's what. Not good. That would be bad. So hard against the housing. Okay, it could be tighter than that, but I don't think I'm gonna mess with it because I'm gonna have to adjust it afterwards. I'm gonna go the second notch down Don't ask me why. No, just kidding. The higher you are up in this bracket on both sides, the better the ability to steer with throttle. The lower you are, the more body roll you have for like better traction and cornering. So I'm gonna go with being able to steer by spinning. So this thing here, when it goes in, it says this bracket gets these thicker bushings, and the other end of it goes behind the pan hard bar with the thinner aluminum spacer bushings. Get a little more comfortable here. All right, washer. Whoops, get back here. Just like that. All this goes together with this big bolt. I'm gonna draw this in a bit. So I've got it out way too far. I'll just get it to where we need it so it'll line up. We should be good. Once again, with this one, we'll go the second hole down. Try it there. Okay, so they say bolt with a washer on it, then another washer, then another washer. This thing needs to be turned out a bit too. There, we're in there. Okay, so another washer on the end of it, and then the nut. So that's how it's supposed to look, I guess. Reminds me of my front steering with the tie rod and the drag link on the pig. Obviously that has to be tightened up and whatnot, but we'll worry about that here in a bit. I think I am going to throw the drag link on it. Like I say, even though I'm getting new ones, I'm just going to put this one on it for now and chuck the new hardware in for it. We'll mount that, and then yeah, the rear suspension is basically complete for right now. So obviously I'm not a suspension expert and I know very little about this stuff. This panhard bar keeps your axle centered, right? So before I tighten anything up, just as a quick alignment so that it's not running down the road weird when I go to get it put on alignment machine, I measured from the bump stop to the tire on both sides, and it worked out I could get an inch on each by spinning this. It drove the axle over. It was off by a quarter of an inch or something, so I had 3/4 on one side, 1.25 on the other side. So yeah, spun that up till I got it to 1 inch, and then I'll just put these jam nuts in place to lock it in, tighten these up, and we should be good for getting it to an alignment machine, I think. Okay, let's get this sway bar put on. That'll be the end of the rear suspension upgrade until I get the new sway bars and control arms. We'll just throw this thing on so it's in place, and we'll put these drop brackets on. You have to run these in order to run this contraption, right? You got to drop down the sway bar. Okay, so the next step is putting these brackets on. So you need a U-bolt. You bring the sway bar up into place. I assume that this bracket will line up with everything, I assume. And it doesn't. Doesn't line up at all. Okay, so that ends that. So I'll just pop those nuts off, pull that out, and we'll have to wait till the new sway bar shows up. All right, so we're gonna spin this thing around, get her positioned so I can do the front A-arms on it. Got her flashed up here. I don't have a seat in it yet, so I'm gonna use a blanket. I did try milk crate, but it's so high that my head was hitting the ceiling. All right, we'll call that a success. The rear end didn't fall out. Moved it around. The brakes still all work. Nothing was seized up. I mean, it's been sitting for basically almost a year, so. Now to do the front A-arms, and I have no idea what I'm in for there. Never changed A-arms in a car before, but I assume you start by taking this wheel off. But we'll get into it and get it taken care of. You'll have new A-arms with rod ends and new ball joints and all that good stuff, so she'll be mint. Okay everyone, it's a new day, it's beautiful, and I'm gonna tear into this Camaro today and we're gonna get the A-arms changed. I've read all the instructions. I got a fresh set of bitch mittens on. Got the cardboard creeper out, got my wheel off, it's jacked up. And I'm gonna have to take this thing apart. I don't know what it all entails. Still got winter leaves in the old girl. But by the end of this and this will be this and this. Thanks, UMI. Let's get it. One of the first things I'm gonna do is dose everything on here with the old deep creep. Make it a little bit easier to get it apart, hopefully. Believe it or not, this is one of the main reasons why I'm changing these A-arms, is because the bushings are toast. I could just change the bushings, but really at the end of the day, who wants these old crusty A-arms here? Let's put some new powder coated red stuff. I mean, that's gonna add 50 horse right there. All right, you guys, FedEx just literally showed up and dropped this stuff off. Super stoked. Because this is the remaining parts that I needed to get this thing cranking. Actually, I didn't need them, but I wanted them, so, and now I got them. I think we're gonna cut the box. Way easier. So this is obviously the front sway bar, and she is bubble wrapped. Woo! That's some beef right there. And rear sway bar, look at that. And we got all the bags here with all the bushings and the links in them, which I already had the links because I bought that other kit, but I got spares now. More stickers. There we have it, folks. UMI lower control arms for your Gen 4 Camaro. These are fully adjustable in car. They got the jam nuts right here, and you can just spin them and bring them in or out. These are what are called a roto joint. Not really familiar with these. The Heim joint setup that I have for some of the other parts on the car. I guess these are kind of like a split between the actual urethane bushings that they normally ship with stuff and the Heim joints. It's in the middle, I guess, as far as comfort. Like they're not as solid as the Heims, but they're definitely way more solid than the bushings, and they last longer. To be honest, I was gonna buy the Heim joint style ones, and I bought these because they are actually in stock and they'd ship the same time as the sway bars. So that's why I got these. But either way, even with the bushings, these are a huge upgrade to the stamped steel control arms that are normally on that car that are just flimsy junk. These are going to be solid and rigid. Oh yeah, that just looks so good. Like I said, I read all the instructions for this, but I'm just going to tear into it and start ripping stuff off. First step is to get these brakes off. That's got mint brake pads on it. That's good. Rotors were mint too until they set all year. All right, we'll get this cotter pin out of the tie rod. Sway bar link. Cotter pin for this ball joint. Cotter pin for the lower ball joint. Yes, sir. 1,400 pounds of reverse torque. Not gonna argue with that. Okay, we're gonna take those lower strut bolts out. Those struts don't look old either. They look in really good shape. For some reason, two of them have Torx hits on the strut bolts on the top, on the strut mount. I got that one loose, no problem. I can't get at that one because the master cylinder's in the way. So I just gotta get that broke loose, that broke loose, that broke loose, get the knuckle out of there. Then I can focus on that nut and bolt on each side, and here, and that bolt there. And this should all be out of there, and I can start putting parts back in. Tie rods out. Lower ball joint out. Knuckle is out. Should I clean this up and paint it while it's out? Yeah, I should. Am I going to? No. Okay, we made some good headway with this thing yesterday, but kind of ran into a roadblock, and I decided I'd stop, have supper, have a shower, and then we headed out to Coffee and Cars last night. Here's the situation we're dealing with right now this morning. I managed to get the nuts off of both of these. There's no way I can get that bolt out. It is just locked in there. I tried heating it up with a propane torch, and that didn't work. Tried melting the bushing out a bit. I just don't have enough heat. I don't have torches here. Where I don't need these A-arms anymore, I'm thinking about cutting them off. Just hack them out of there as best I can and hack through that bushing. The worst part is I need those bolts. UMI Performance does sell bolt kits. And I really wish I would have bought them, because these are a good size metric bolt, not something you can just go to like a hardware store and pick up. But before I go at this and try and cut into these and get rid of them, I'm gonna eliminate this. So that means I have to take those bolts off up top. Yesterday I got these ones loose and couldn't get at this one because of the master cylinder. Well, I took the nuts off and got that out of the way so that I can get in here and take this out. Okay, now that that's out of the way, I can get at these A-arms. So I couldn't get all the way through that, so I'm gonna try the plasma cutters, see if I can gouge it out enough to get them off. I gotta be honest, I'm not super optimistic about this working for me, but it's the only option I've got other than a reciprocating saw at the moment. We're gonna give her hell. Man, this thing just does not want to come off. Come on. Now I just got to cut through all this crap. I have to burn through that in a couple spots. I like burning rubber, but not like that. Come on. Yes, sir. I just gotta buzz through that thing. I think I'll be able to get that one out. I don't want to catch my cardboard creeper on fire. I got them both whittled out there. Now it's just a matter of getting those bushings off. That does not want to budge. It's almost taking the head off the bolt. Okay, so I took the plasma cutter and put 2 slices in that collar. You can see the rust inside where the bolt is. I nicked the bolt with the plasma cutter a little bit, but not too bad. I didn't quite go through on that side, but that's fine. I think what I'm gonna do now is hit it with the air chisel and try and break that piece out. I'm not looking forward to doing that one. This is nuts. I really need those bolts, but that one's pretty much screwed now. There's no head on it barely, and obviously you guys are getting the condensed version of this, but this has been hours. This has been like the whole morning. Cut that A-arm off, cut the bushings off, now to try and get that collar. The good news is once that's out, it can all start going back together, so this side will be done. Another good note is that strut tower is in mint shape. I can't be more happy about that, because that would really suck if that was toast. I mean, yeah, I could fix it, but do I want to? No, at this stage in the game, I don't even want to change that other side of A-arms. There is rubber undercoating all over everything, melted just. Oh my God. That was horrible. Absolutely horrible. All that for one stupid bolt. Well, 2 stupid bolts. I'll be honest, I'm ready to be done for the day. Wow. I wouldn't have got that without the plasma cutter. Not that way anyway. Maybe I should just hack the other one off with a recip saw and punch it out. I probably should, it'd be so much quicker. Like, the bolt's not great anyway, so I mean, I can reuse that to the point of holding it together, but I'll have to put a new bolt into it for actual service. I'll have to see if I got something that actually fits that. And you know what, at the end of the day, all this has got to be tore apart. Probably like a year from now when I buy the K-member for the LS swap. All right, I got 2 grooves cutting that now. I'm gonna try and pop that piece out if I can, and then get the bolt out. More plasma cutting. All right, I split that collar with the plasma cutter. Then I went at it with this. I started to see rust come out of it. Now I just gotta drive that bolt up with the punch. Hopefully it goes. Nice. Now that other piece should just come out of there, I hope, without too much persuasion. Yeah, just like that. After literal hours of cutting, beating, getting burnt, sizzled, I'm probably even almost getting sunburnt from being out here for so long. I got both of those bolts out and it's ready to go back together once I take the bolts out of the upper A-arm, which I'll take that in the garage and do it. Yes, sir. Well, those are definitely more lubricated than the other ones. Those come out easy. This side's a little rustier. That side fell out almost. She's starting to come. Come on. That's what we need right there. These are scrap metal. I can sort of see the hole, barely. Try and guide that in there as best I can, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty close, I think. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The lock on that bolt isn't in the hole, so right there, I think. Got her. Oh, part one's done. Now, I read something in the instructions about not tightening these things up 100%. What did I do with that rubber piece? Okay, let's get this shock into place. One nut on it. I guess I can thank the Chevy engineers for gearing this thing up to be a complete pain in the ass to take apart. Don't worry, that was just on setting number 1. I didn't just torque the master cylinder to the brake booster at like 500 foot-pounds. All right, what's next? All right, I'm not going to tighten those till I get everything else figured out. I think next is the knuckle. And I know I said I wasn't going to paint it, but I lied. Oh, I don't know how I'm going to get that up into place. Maybe jack it. Well, never mind. Shake down. All right, tie rod's hooked up. That caliper's gonna look pretty skanky on there with it being rusty.
Yeah, who cares?
Gonna paint some of this Never Seas onto her. I've got this thing pretty much geared. Just got to finish tightening up the brake caliper. So yeah, everything is done that has to be done except for the sway bar and figuring out how to get this thing lined up, which I'm gonna have to take that somewhere and get that done because I don't have those skills. That plasma cutter had some fun today. Oh my god. That's crazy. All right, let's get this tire back on. Get this thing off the jack. There we have it. I'll be honest, I didn't think I was gonna get it finished off today. Like I say, the only thing left is the sway bars and control arms that I got yesterday. Yeah, they'll be for another day. Back to work tomorrow night, but I'm off for the weekend, so I'll hit this thing again. Hopefully we can get it finished up so that we can get it out and get it aligned. Sway bars, control arms, interior's got to go back together. I got to clean up the pedestals on the seats, paint them because they are all rusty. Can't think of anything else right off the top of my head, but that would pretty much wrap her up. So I hope you've been enjoying this Camaro content so far. Got a bit more to come, obviously, and then we'll have it on the road, be able to drive it. Won't be so exciting with a V6 in it, but at some point in time, it'll get the 6-liter of the Yukon in it. It'll be a lot more fun then. So until next time, like, comment, share, subscribe, whatever turns you crank. We'll see you in the next video.